when a North Carolina boy meets a beautiful girl from far away.
He should do everything he can to win her over.
And if he does, his life will be a portrait of happiness.
It's a pleasure to be here with you, Nicholas, Britt, and Scott.
Thank you.
For you, Britt and Scott, what got your attention in his story?
Well, I've been a fan of Nick's work for a long time, since I was a kid. Actually, I've been reading his books and watching his films. So it was a pleasure to be a part of something like this. But in addition to just having that fandomness. Yes, it is actually. It was created by Twitterverse, I think, which is also a word, but not a word. So yeah, I was just a fan of his, and I love the story, and I love the character of Sophia. I thought it would be a really fun project to be a part of.
And I was a huge fan of The Notebook, and I thought this was interesting because it had a lot of grit to it. I loved the PBR. And thought, this is a movie guys could like too.
Yeah, of course. And what got your inspiration for this? Because it's a different character.
Yeah, well, I want to write a story with the two parallel love stories, and I want to make them different. And I had a lot of experience with rodeo growing up. I'd go to the Folsom Rodeo every year, and my sister ended up marrying someone who was in the rodeo. And I just thought bull riding was cool. It hadn't been written about, and yet it's a growing sport. It's massive in Brazil too, right?
Yeah, that is also what to say to tell you that.
And so I said this would be visually interesting in film, but it would also be interesting in a novel. And then of course you want art, something equally compelling and equally visual. So little by little stories come together, but in the end, this is to tell the best story that I can. I
was very impressed with the way that you guys showed the bull riding. Was really good, because I grew up in a town back in Brazil that is very rodeo oriented and everything. Yeah. You have any challenges learning to
George Tillman Jr. was really the guy to thank for portraying bull riding in such a cool and authentic way. We also had the PBR there, so I had a wealth of knowledge from all the guys just to pull from and hang with and drink beer and and just be one of the guys. And
how was work with George, the director?
He's great. Oh. He's the best.
He's like one of my favorite directors that I've worked with in my career. I mean, he is responsible for making the movie what it is, I think. You know, obviously the material was there and the subject matter was there, but he elevated it to a completely different level, I think.
Yeah, do you think that you changed the way that you write books from like before and now? You have the eyes?
Not once I start writing, but when I conceive an idea, I want the idea to be both original for a novel and a film, and I want it to be interesting in both novel and film, right? So bull riding was interesting in both, art is interesting in both, and so they ended up in both. But once I start to write, it's just about the novel. Yeah. I mean, I'll let George do the film. That's why we have George.
Aside from the bull riding that you mentioned, you guys have had any other challenges?
In the film?
In the film,
or in life, I've had plenty of challenges.
No, in the film.
Oh, okay, yes. For me, I mean, there were a few challenges. I just trying to make these characters both different but still engaged in one another, and a couple that would make sense to be together and fall in love, but still had that those differences. The opposites do attract, but I think there has to be some common ground, and for our characters that common ground was our passions, so we wanted to make those passions really come alive and feel real for the characters. I think that was a challenge.
No, it is. It is. Yeah, it is. And you guys learn anything new doing this movie? You learn anything new?
Yeah, I learned a lot watching George. I mean, as a director, just the preparation prior to filming. And I learned a lot, about the work that these two did. I mean, Britt really immersed herself in the art world because she wanted, even though she only talks about it a little in the film, that little, she has to understand what she's saying on a deep level.
Yeah.
So she learned this much to talk
about
this
that
much.
Yeah.
But she knows this much now. So if you want to know about modern art, she's right here, right?
Not anymore. It's all. I try to talk about it now, and I can't even come up with artists that I learned about. But I actually worked with a lady in Wilmington at the UNCW there, and she taught me so many things that I had no idea about before. So I did have a wealth of knowledge that I learned from the movie, but now it's just escaped me for some odd reason.
It was the same thing with Scott. You know, to go behind these scenes, you know, it's one thing you can watch bull riding and you see how that's done, but how are the guys behind the scenes, right? What do they do in between when other people are riding? What are they doing? Where do they stand? What do they do prior? What do they do after the event?
Drink a beer, play poker.
Right. Are they friends? Are they enemies? You know, what is it like? And those are the things that lend authenticity to this role. And that's what, you know, he was game to go and see and do whatever had to be done. He makes it seem like, oh, I had fun, had some beers with the guys. But it was a whole lot more than that because it was a process of absorbing. And what they have is what is the most authentic look at what it's really like.
Thank you so much guys for your time.
Thank you.
A lot of success, and I really love the movie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
What am I in for here?
Let's go!
Hey!
Keep it.
I'm thinking it over. The way you make me feel.
I met a girl.
But it's causing me shame.
You meet girls all the time.
No, not like this.
Was allowed, but I don't want to cause any pain.
This one's different.
Baby, I'm thinking it over.
We come from such different worlds,
The way we started.
but I've never felt this way about anybody.
What if it only gets colder? Would you still wrap me up in
No one has ever done anything like this for me before.
Cause lately I've been scared of even thinking about where we are.
See that?
What?
Call 911!
I just came to drop this off.
Where'd you get that?
From your car?
I haven't been able to read these for years.
You want me to read them to you? April 10th, 1940. My dearest Ruth. I'll remember that dress you wore even when I've forgotten my own name.
I wish I could tell you it'll all be happily ever after. Not everybody gets that.
You did.
It wasn't that simple.
Luke, you need to stop, or next time you're more likely going to pick him up at the morgue.
This is my life. It's all I know.
I can't be with someone if every time they walk out the door, I don't know if I'm gonna see them again. Promise me you'll come back.
I promise. I just don't know how to make this work.
I can't do this anymore.
Love requires sacrifice. But it's worth it.